Welcome, my beautiful people. In this video, I want to do a recap of the last 3 days of my trip. And I'm going to be doing these recaps because it's I'm spending the entire month in Europe, and I'm going to forget a lot of stuff. So I think this format's going to work a little bit better. So let me start with my trip to the heart of the U.S. capital, Washington, D.C. So after a long day of travel, we finally touched down in DC and checked into a Moxy Hotel. If you never stayed in a Moxy Hotel, which is owned by Marriott, by the way, um, then it's definitely a unique experience that you're probably not going to experience anywhere else. The only comparison I can give it is Virgin. So if you've been on a Virgin airline or Virgin cruise, this hotel gives you that same type of vibe, right? It is hip, it is very minimalistic, and it's perfect for short stays. It's right in the middle of DC. I mean, you can walk to just about anywhere. Now, I stayed in Moxy hotels before. This particular Moxy hotel, although as I mentioned, beautiful, it has everything any other Moxy hotel has, but the only negative is its room was tiny. It had to be. I think my closet in my house was bigger than this room. Very small. But again, that's the only complaint I had because I really liked it. Now, we got to DC late. I think we landed like at 6 something. So by the time we got to the hotel, it was kind of late. Didn't want to do much except go to dinner. And we found a great this cozy Italian gem because it was really good just around the corner. It's called the Foglinia. I'm going to spell it to you so you guys can make sure if you're in DC, you visit it. It's Sfoglina, and they specialize in handcrafted pasta inspired by the classic Rome and northern and coastal Italian recipes. Now, they also have this great, rich truffle pasta that was delicious. They have a nice wine list, so if you are into wine, their wine list was very impressive. Now, next morning started super early. We had a early guided tour of the White House, and if you never been to DC in general, one for me personally, I think it is a must see to go to the White House. The, it's the White House, so obviously everything in the White House is going to be impressive. But being as old as I am and seeing and staying abreast to what happens around the world, it is impressive to sit there and see the areas within the White House that they've done the press conference. So, for example, that famous walk down the hallway when President Obama came and announced that they had killed Osama bin Laden. I mean, so I sat there and I looked at that hallway and just imagine being present at that time. Uh, if you bring it to today, the meetings, the meetings and press conferences that President Trump has done, they're done right there. It's pretty cool. It's very impressive. It gave me a lot of pride to be a U.S. citizen. So if you are in the area and can get a ticket, highly recommend you do that. Now, excuse me. After that, we rented some e-bikes from Keen's Bikes. They're little. They're not in downtown. They're a little closer to, or they border like Georgetown. But great bike shop, great people there, and we took a self-guided ride throughout the national malls, right? We covered it all: the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Memorial, the World War II Memorial, and we made it from there. Or once we finished that area, the downtown area, we cruised some of the local neighborhoods within DC. But for me, when it comes to neighborhoods, Georgetown was it. we rode over to Georgetown and we cruised past some historic and beautiful neighborhoods that are lined by beautiful trees. Really nice to do that. Now in Georgetown, we had lunch. We had lunch at a Mediterranean restaurant, which again, another great gem called Alada, Alara. Very good. Alada is a modern Mediterranean restaurant that is all about flavor and freshness. So one of the things one of the dishes I recommend you get there is the lamb kebab and the what do you call it? The sampler of the sausages with the fresh baked pita bread. People, that thing was delicious. From there, we went to eat dinner at the Founding Fathers, where and Founding Fathers is in downtown DC, and this farmed, owned, or this restaurant is owned by farmers, hence the name Founding Farmers. Restaurant focuses on sustainability and scratch-made comfort food. Again, must try. One of the dishes that I ate and I recommend is the chicken and waffles and the slow bruise short ribs, also delicious. Now when you go there, you have to. This is a very popular restaurant. Make sure you make reservations and expect to wait because the wait there was a little long for U.S. standards. Because when you go to Europe, that thing is still fast. Now, day 3 was for me a good day, exciting day. Excuse me, because we kicked it off with at the International Spy Museum. Now, as a kid, I always wanted to be a spy, right? I wanted to be part of the CIA and do that kind of stuff. So this museum was right up my alley. I really enjoyed it. When you go there, you'll dive into espionage history and explore the brand new James Bond exhibit. Now, here's what's cool about the experience, because it's an immersive experience full of gadgets, vehicles, behind the scenes stories of what happened around the world. But when you get there, it's meant to give you the experience of a rookie spy. So you'll get a badge, you'll get a code name, you'll get they'll do a backstory on you. Now you have to remember this because throughout the tour, you're going to go through missions, and in these missions, you have to remember certain things. And it was just a cool experience. If you get it wrong, it's going to tell you you got the answers wrong and you failed your mission. But it was a very, very cool experience. And then the James Bond experiences or the exhibit was also super cool. You got to see all the cars that were used in James Bond movies, the snowmobile and one of the famous James Bond scenes, the boats that you'll see in the movies. It was a really, really cool experience, especially if you are a 007 fan. I enjoyed that. Now, from there, we had lunch at Yardbird, which is it's a chain. You'll find them in a lot of different places. It was very good. It has a really strong Southern style restaurant or feeling on it. And they also had this buttermilk fried chicken. I don't know why chicken is the thing in DC, but it was. That was cool. Then that night, on the third night, we flew from DC to Frankfurt, Germany, with a layover in Lisbon. And here are a few quick travel hacks for a smooth international departure. First, pack light, people. I've always talked about that. You follow this channel. And I know a lot of people give me pushback because, they're like, well, I can't just pack in a backpack. The answer is yes, you can. I mean, I'm traveling for a month and I'm doing it in a backpack. It makes it much easier. But if you need a rollaway, get a rollaway. But the idea is to travel light. Wear joggers when you're flying. And today it's easy, man. You can really dress up. Really, if you're the type of person that likes to dress up, I'm that type of person. I like to look good when I go out and dress up. But you can dress up casual stuff by just adding a jacket or blazer. even with joggers. I mean, I wore joggers with a blazer, and the outfit looked pretty cool. Anyways, pack light, number one. It'll save you on fees, etc. Then get to the, if you're flying international, get to the airport, especially if you're flying out of DC. Get there a little early, but just don't go to the gate. Now, if you follow the channel, you know that if I'm traveling, if my flights are longer than 6 hours, I fly business class. Now, no, don't judge me, because I get business class tickets for the price of either most of the time is premium economy, but sometimes even the price of economy, depending on when you're booking your flight. If you want to take advantage of these business class tickets, for example, our tickets were very inexpensive, and I during my STR News video, which is every Wednesday evening, I always put out sales. And in the last couple of weeks, Delta, TAP Airlines, United all had business class tickets from the East Coast of the US, excuse me, to Europe, to places like Spain, Italy, Portugal, Germany, for $1,200. You can't beat that, people. And it gives you access to the point of all that is because it gives you access to the lounges. And if you're traveling internationally, or if you have a layover, an extended layover, having access to the lounges is really, really necessary, in my opinion. You get to relax. You'll get to free drinks. It's not free because you're really paying it within your ticket, but you get drinks, you get food. A lot of these places have places where you can actually sleep. For example, in DC, they had a restroom where you can actually take a quick nap. You can set up your. What was cool about that place was you can go in there, you put your flight information, and it'll actually alert you when to get the hell up, right? They also had showers. The same thing in the lounge in Lisbon. The lounge in Lisbon, which I got into the lounge in Lisbon through my priority pass. I could have gone to the TAP lounge, but I visited both. Which one was better? And the priority pass lounge was much better than the lounge for TAP Airlines. So we stayed at the priority pass lounge. I mean, that place had showers, bathrooms with showers. The spread for food was really good. A lot of drinks, and again, you had areas if you needed to take a nap, you can take a nap. Very comfortable seating and great views. So, excuse me. So, anyways, that took care. Let me talk about the incident. Now, I mentioned this before in other videos. So when we landed in Lisbon, and when we were getting ready to fly out from Lisbon to Frankfurt, and we were getting to the gate agent stops me and looked at my boarding pass, looked at my passport, and said, "I can't get on." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Right? Well, and I talked about this before, so I'm going to make it kind of short here. You guys need to make sure that the name on your ticket is exactly the same as the name on your passport. Now, I created this TAP account years ago, where in my passport it showed my two last names, which is David Espada. Now, when I renewed my passport, for some reason, and I can't remember why or what happened. They took out my mother's maiden name, which is my second last name, and only kept David. I didn't update that on my account, and I didn't really catch that at that particular moment. And again, I've been flying forever since then, right? For the last 2 years, I had that same passport. I've been flying all over the world. No one gave me any issues over having that second last name on my boarding passes and not on my passport. But this particular agent did. Long story short, we called the supervisor, called immigration, and they verified who I was, and they let me on. But lesson learned, right? Make sure that everything matches. Anyway, my beautiful people, hit that like button, subscribe, especially if you want to see what other adventures I'm going to get into on this trip to Europe. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.